Hello everyone, welcome back to my F-18 tutorial series. Today we're going to take a look at the HSI page on the F-18, as well as waypoint and TACAN navigation. So first, the HSI can be found on the support menu on the DDIs, as well as the AMPCD, which is the screen down here. Uh, so we bring up the HSI page. Now we're gonna take a look first at the just the screen generally and the sub menus in it. So first thing is the position that the system is taking the position of the aircraft. So we have the INS, can be used with GPS as well. Currently, I don't think it's implemented, so we'll just stay with INS. Update is not functional. Scale is the scale of the HSI. By the way, both of these screens are identical, but this one can display a map as well, a colored map. So the scale is going 5 nautical mile radius, 160, 80, 40, 20, 10, 5, and back to 160. Mark points are not implemented at the moment. Now the main submenu is the data submenu. First we have the aircraft. Now things that are important to know are the altitude warnings. If you go below the set altitude here, you'll get the altitude warning. So we can set up a barometric altitude. We press the baro and we can go up here and set it up for say 20,000 feet. And for the radar, we set it over here. Now we have the lat long formation. We can have it in decimal, which is degrees, minutes, and decimal minutes, or we can change it to seconds, which is degrees, minutes, and seconds. Now we have the heading. We can change it to either magnetic or true, and that's it for the aircraft submenu. Now we have the waypoint, which is really important. We have the UFC for entering a waypoint, and I will cover it in a second. SLU and GPS are not implemented. AA waypoint is for setting up your bullseye. Now, a bullseye is a relative point in the area of operation, mostly used for air-to-air missions, but also to announce your location. So everyone will know your location relative to the bullseye, and the bullseye is the same for everyone. It's agreed in the mission briefing. So we can choose, say, waypoint 0, set it up as a bullseye. Now, a box will appear around the AA waypoint, which means that the bullseye is set, and it's set to the number right next to the box, which is 0 at the moment. Sec UFC or sequence UFC is for the sequence or flight plans of the Hornet and will be covered soon. Precise is for transferring the waypoints from 6-digit format into 8-digit format, which is more accurate or more precise. Also, we have the sequence button, which will be covered in a second, and the waypoint navigation or waypoint switching buttons right here. You can switch between waypoints. It shows you the waypoint that it's currently tuned into, which is 0, and you can change it up or down. That's it for now. On the TACAN menu, you can set up TACAN channels for later use. So we'll take, say, channel 6, which is right now empty. We can tune into Coboletti with TACAN, which is 67 X-ray. Enter. it will change it over here. We can also enter a position or elevation or magnetic variation. It's not really relevant at the moment, but just for you know. So we'll keep going on the HSI. Up next, we have the waypoint navigation button. And when the waypoint is boxed, that means that we are using the waypoint or steer points as our main navigation method. So right now, if I box the waypoint and choose waypoint 1, we can see that we have the steering cue, which is this line or this marker right here, which shows what direction the waypoint is. And we have the arrow that shows what direction the aircraft is. And we can see that right now it matches as we're heading to the waypoint. And also we have the waypoint number here and the distance to it in nautical miles over here on the HUD. And you use this method to navigate to the waypoint. Next we have the waypoint choosing buttons over here. We have the waypoint designate. I will cover it in later videos as it relates to air-to-ground munition use mostly. Also, we have the sequence here, which will be covered in a second. Now, time UFC might not be too relevant to missions, but you can use it to set the date or to start an elapsed time, or basically a timer that will, if I hit enter, should start working, and it's gonna count from 0 to whenever you stop it by clicking the elapsed time. We also have countdown here. We can choose 50 minutes. We have the minutes here and the seconds here. When we press enter, a countdown should start working. Yep. And we have the ZTOD and LTOD to display Zulu time or local time on the HUD. Now, three last things are the mode. We have the T up, which makes the HSI relative to your heading. That means that the heading is always going to be in 12 o'clock. Sorry. We have the north up, which basically going to keep the north direction on 12 o'clock. We have the map. Now, if it's boxed, it means that it's activated. As you can see, we have a map in the background. Now, the reason that it isn't shown here is that this screen doesn't have multiple color display like this one over here. So map is only available on this screen at the bottom. We can disable it and we can bring it back again. We have decenter, which puts the aircraft at 6 o'clock and the aircraft heading at 12 o'clock and gives you only the front half of the circle. And the slew is not functional right now. Now to reset it up to the default setting, we're gonna choose T up. Next we have the ILS, which stands for Instrument Landing System. It's a system that communicates with a station on the ground and helps you guide the aircraft to the final approach in bad weather conditions or night conditions. On the Hornet right now, it's only functional on aircraft carriers. And last thing, we have the TACAN, which is basically like the waypoint. A TACAN, the only difference is that a TACAN is a station on the ground and or can be also on a tanker. It's an outboard communication navigation system. TACAN stands for Tactical Air Navigation, and what it does is you go to TACAN on the UFC, turn it on, you choose either transmit receive or receive. You choose AA if the TACAN is on the tanker, and you can choose between X or Y, which are the TACAN bands or uh, the TACAN bands. And uh, on the UFC numbers, you can tune into the channel. So we go 67 for Kobileti, enter, and when we and if the TACAN is boxed, it's like it's the same as the um, it works the same as the waypoint. We have the steering cube up here and the um, distance to the TACAN right here, and we have the TACAN designation. KBL stands for the Kobileti. Now, now I'm going to show you how to add or manipulate waypoints. So to add a waypoint or change it, we go to data. We choose the waypoint that we want to change. Right now, a waypoint of mine, waypoint number 2, is a bit offset to Kobileti, and I want to put it on Kobileti. So what I'm going to do is check the um, coordinates on the F10 map, and just notice that the coordinate format is in seconds, not decimal. So I'm going to go and change it very quickly to seconds. Now we type in, we go to UFC, position, north, and then we go 415555. Enter. Sorry. North for 415555. Enter. Now east 415235. Enter. Elevation in feet. We'll zoom in, and it's on the top left corner of the F10 menu. It's 59 feet. Okay, and now the waypoint has changed. Now manipulating waypoint and adding waypoint is the same. Is technically the same way to do it. Say if I want to add a new waypoint, I'm going to a waypoint that doesn't exist, doesn't have coordinates, that everything is 0. And I do the same things that I did. I go UFC, position, north, putting in the latitude, and then I go east, position, east, putting in the longitude, and putting in the elevation, and the waypoint is going to appear on the HSI. So last thing I want to cover is the sequence. A sequence is basically an order of waypoints that instead of showing just single waypoints on the HSI, it's going to show a dashed line, a segmented line that connects all the waypoints in the order that I chose. And it's used to either flying by a specific flight route, or you can use it for kill boxes or anything that you want to kind of draw on the HSI. So we have waypoints 0, 1, and 2 right now in the system. So I can go to sequence UFC and go to the UFC. Now, let's say that I'm going to go for sequence 2 to a new one to demonstrate how do I create a new flight plan. So I click sequence UFC. Then I choose the waypoint number that I want to add. Let's say 1. And I click INS. Sorry. Click INS for insert. 1 and enter. And it's going to appear right here. And I can do the same with 2. Enter. It's going to appear right here. If I want to delete a specific waypoint, I'm going to do delete 1, enter, and it's going to delete waypoint 1, and I have only waypoint 2. Now, another very important thing that is very useful. You can choose what waypoint on the flight plan on the sequence is your target. So let's imagine uh, uh, waypoint number 1 is the target. I'm going to add waypoint number 1. On target, I'm going to choose 1, enter, and it's going to box the waypoint that is selected as the target. Now I can choose TOT, time on target. I'm going to put the time that I want to reach the target. Let's say it's 6 a.m., so I go 600000. First two digits are hours, minutes, and seconds. Enter. And I can also add GSPD, which is ground speed, and that is the ground speed that I want to be on the waypoint, on the target waypoint, and the system will, the mission computer will tell me if I need to go faster or slower in order to get to the waypoint on the time and on the ground speed I want. The ground speed is in knots, so I can put 300 for 300 knots. It will change right here. Now, how do I display it? I'm going to the HSI, and let's say I want to choose sequence 2. So if I have sequence 2 unboxed, it means that the sequence is not activated. And if I click it and it's boxed, I'm going to see a dotted line between waypoint 1 and 2 here. If I go waypoint 2, it's that one. Sorry, waypoint 1 is that one. Waypoint 2 is that one over here. And the Hornet can use up to 3 sequences. The default mode is like here. It's sequence 1 unboxed. That means that the sequence is not activated. I can click the OSB here to activate the sequence. If I unbox it, it changes to sequence 2. I can activate this, and same for sequence 3. So that's all for now. I hope it was useful, and I'll see you in the next time.